Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. The guy next to me, this is Tim, and this is the Second Legacy, and thank you for stopping by. Today, we're going to talk about something, the gift that just keeps on giving. Hunter Biden is at it again. And I'm going to be honest, Tim, right in the intro, the balls on this guy. I'll say it. This guy has a pair, man.
It's almost like he's enjoying this, which
oh my gosh.
The only thing I can think of is because he doesn't seem concerned whatsoever. The only thing I can think of is he figures if he gets convicted of something, Daddy's just going to pardon him anyway.
Maybe, but the stuff that we're going to show you guys, people of the Second Legacy, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We have got a show for you because now he wants Trump. He wants the Trumpster. Oh my goodness gracious! But most importantly, Tim, and this is the key point of all intros. How are you? How's Tim today?
I'm one day past Hump Day, so the weekend inches closer.
So that's a good thing.
Yes, it's a good thing.
So that's a good thing.
Do enjoy the weekends. I really do.
That's good. Have you gone hunting yet? Have you
no.
actually done it?
I just picked up a new deer rifle, and I was out getting that sucker zeroed, and got the scope on and everything. Did a quick video I'll post on the Military Arms channel. But yeah, I'm getting ready, man. It's here. It's here.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, you know who else is ready? Hunter Biden. Ooh. Hunter Biden is ready. Let's dive into this. I'm so here for this. I cannot wait to have this discussion with you. So, as always, guys, Dr. Button Pusher is here. He is ready. Would you like to say anything to the people, Dr. Button Pusher?
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Okay, he's here. He's functional.
He's here. It's working.
All right. It's good. So let's get into number one here. Hunter Biden asked judge to subpoena Donald Trump and Bill Barr in federal gun case. This guy has cojones the size of basketballs. I mean, so just in case you guys were living under a rock, Hunter Biden faces 3 federal gun charges after a plea deal collapsed in July on tax and gun charges that could have allowed him to avoid prison time. Now, we covered this a lot. Mm-hmm. But, Tim, am I right on the pelota size here? I mean, like, dude, trying to get Trump to subpoena in your case?
Again, this goes to what I was saying at the opening of the video. This guy seems like he's almost enjoying this because this doesn't seem like a serious legal move. It seems more like a political move and a thumb in your eye move. And it's almost like he did it laughingly. I mean, almost. I don't know. We don't know that that's the case. I mean, maybe he really thinks this is his best defense, but it certainly seems like this is 100% political because it seems to dovetail with Trump's claims that Biden's DOJ has targeted him politically. Mm-hmm. And now Hunter's going to go, well, if they can accuse us of that, we can accuse them too. And here we go.
It's kind of got those vibes. But, like I said in the intro, the gift that keeps on giving, if this little avenue that he's pursuing works, that's even more evidence to help us in our gunfight.
See,
I mean, like,
that's what's so funny.
It's insane.
Yeah, he's citing Bruin for his defense, helps us. Uh-huh. If he goes out there and says, people, if you break a law, but you can prove or even insinuate that the prosecution is politically biased, that they're coming after you, and you can say, well, they didn't go after this person, they came after me, and the only reason they came after me is for political reasons, and therefore I should be, not charged. Exonerated or whatever. Yeah, I mean, well, then that helps us, So yeah. He doesn't seem to be doing himself any favors, and he just seems to be doing old dad, really causing him some grief here, but I don't know. Maybe dad isn't with us.
He really is. Well, we know that one. We know that one. So let's get it. Let's show you guys what he's doing, and you guys in the comments field start telling us the different ways that this will actually help the gun rights fight because it's numerous. So number 2, Dr. Button Pusher, Hunter Biden asked a federal judge Wednesday for authority to subpoena former President Donald Trump, former Attorney General Bill Barr, and 2 other Justice Department officials as he fights criminal gun possession charges. And the thing that I love about this, Tim just alluded to it, so far, after this sweetheart plea deal has blown up in his face, he's gone after the Bruin decision to get him out of to get him out of prison time for gun charges. Gun jail. It's a terrible place. Don't go there. Yeah, Don't go there. Yeah. It's a bad place. And then he's also gone after the idea that there's no history, text, and precedent for drug users to be on a 4473. The fact that 4473s might be unconstitutional. And now he wants Trump to come in here and say that the Fifth Amendment rights are being violated, which we're going to hit in 1 second, and the ultimate irony itself.
I know, right? Oh, wow.
This guy, this guy is insane.
I always say this, but it's so true. Every time I see this clownery that's going on, We are living a movie plot, Idiocracy. I mean, again, if you guys haven't seen the movie, please go watch it, because the stuff that is coming out of our politicians' mouths, the things that they're doing, just the situation of the country right now, it's a bad movie plot. It's unbelievable. I can't believe we're here.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, we were talking about that pre-show where we're just like, are we really? I mean, like, over here in one corner, we've got Hunter Biden trying to get all these different ways to prove that he's not a violation of gun charges, but he supports gun rights, but his dad doesn't. Over here, Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro are going to his throats. Trump's running for re-election again. RFK is coming out.
Right.
I'm just like, where are we right now?
We have a senator threatening to beat up a Teamster boss. I mean,
right.
Or vice versa. They wanted a cage match or something. I mean, yeah, the whole country is coming apart at the seams. And there's so much tension. You can see it, you can feel it, you can smell it, you can cut it with a knife. And it just seems like Americans are just on edge. I mean, we have a bad economy. The world is unstable. We have 2 wars that could easily escalate into global conflict. I mean, people are just freaking out. And then we have Hunter Biden. Yeah. Wants to subpoena Barr and Trump.
Right. And in fact, if you were planning on coming to the United States right now for like a, extended stay, I think Kamala Harris would have some great advice for you.
Do not come.
There it is.
Do not come.
Come on, Dr. Button Pusher.
All right.
Oh goodness. So I think that's really great advice from the vice president. Just don't come. Just sit this one out for a minute. But let's continue it. Let's dive into God in heaven. I can't do the setups. Number 3. Here we go. Biden faces 3 federal weapons counts after the collapse of the plea deal, which we covered ad nauseum, to revolve tax and gun charges in July. Hear this part. His lawyers want to explore whether the wide-ranging investigation that began in 2018 during Trump's administration was spurred by political pressure, according to the request from the Biden lawyer, Abe Lowell. Okay, is there any other high-profile previous president who might qualify under that exact same stipulation? I don't know. Does his name rhyme with Schmrump?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like he hadn't even been inaugurated yet, and key Democrats were getting in front of the camera saying we're going to impeach him.
Impeach him.
I mean,
for what?
Yeah, I mean, this is how a lot of people would say that our DOJ and our criminal justice system kind of works these days, kind of backwards. You show me the man and I'll show you the crime, right? It's like, well, we want to bring this person down, so let's go find something to bring him down with.
Absolutely.
And
some
is that
Soviet
happening?
Stuff.
Certainly seems that way to me. And now Hunter wants to use that as a defense because he isn't really guilty of being in violation of whatever bogus law his government that he loves, big government, that they proposed and got passed. Now he doesn't want to do time for those bad laws. No, he wants to side with us now. But oh my goodness, and he's willing to.
It's convenient.
Yeah. And he's willing to, go to the plate with Bruin and claiming political persecution and wow, good stuff.
It's just you cannot make this stuff up.
No.
In fact, this is the part where it ties into even more evidence for us on our gun rights fight. Let's go to number 4, Dr. Button Pusher. Quote, Mr. Biden seeks specific information from 3 former DOJ officials and the former president that goes to the heart of his defense that this is possibly a vindictive or selective prosecution arising from an unrelenting pressure campaign beginning in the last administration in violation of Mr. Biden's Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution. That's what they wrote to the U.S. District Judge. Beside the point of everything that they just said that the Democrats have done to Trump, I mean, legitimately arising from selective political prosecution, let's take a look at the Fifth Amendment, Tim, because that pesky Fifth Amendment has something to do with some kind of laws. They're not green, they're not blue. They have a flag of some sort? Oh, that's right, red flag laws, Tim. Red flag laws. So the Fifth Amendment, let me just read this for the people. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in land or naval forces or the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Well, private property taken, due process of law, deprived of life, liberty, or property. Wow, it sounds like Hunter's a new poster boy for no red flag laws.
Yeah, it certainly sounds that way.
That's weird.
But it isn't a red flag law that he's being charged with.
I know, but isn't that weird how the Bruin decision is supported and red flag laws are undermined and political prosecution is now all of a sudden bad? It's really weird.
Right. I mean,
I'm weirded out.
Regardless of what prompted him being investigated, the question the judge will probably ask is, well, that's nice and all, but did you break the law?
But did you do it?
Was it because of your claimed political persecution that they uncovered the fact that you broke this law, or did you just break the law and the media broke it, or somebody else figured it out and they decided to exploit it? Or did you perhaps leave a laptop somewhere that that you didn't pick up after being requested to pick it up many times, and it wound up in the possession of the FBI, who promptly lied and said they didn't have it, and then they said, "Oh yeah, we do have it," and then the guy obviously made copies of all the data, released it. He's now facing a court case.
Can't do that.
Yeah. So I mean, so how did all this come to light? Could it have been all the way back to this laptop, perhaps, or something else? Because we all saw the pictures of him holding a handgun, a self-loading pistol, but he's being charged with a revolver. We brought that up in a previous episode. I mean, there's all sorts of weirdness here, right? The guy clearly was in possession of 2 different handguns. One of them wound up in a dumpster. But yet it's political persecution that this is all happening.
It is. All these things, all this evidence that you're literally seeing, all of these things in photographic evidence, personally admitted in a book and an interview of what we've also covered.
I mean, he talks openly about it. And we also know that the Secret Service was dispatched to go clean up his mess.
Yes.
Do you and I get that privilege? Like if we go out and break a law that they previously supported, but now they don't support it because now it's affecting one of their own. But if we go out and break a law, do you think that's going to happen to us? They're going to dispatch some government agent to go clean up our mess and try to hide it and sweep it under the rug. But somehow through laptops and other things, it still comes to light. I mean, why aren't we talking about that? Why aren't we talking about the fact that the government is out there cleaning up the messes of its own politicians to keep them in power?
Or the families of said politicians.
The families in this case of said politicians.
Yeah. It seems a bit of a quandary. I am a little concerned. Yeah. Because the only privilege that we have, Tim, let's just be honest, we have, according to the gun control left in Colorado, buckets and buckets of white privilege.
Yes.
That's what we have. The buckets.
How did that go, by the way? Weren't they going to tap into white privilege to somehow pass gun? There was
no, they were. Yeah. They were. That failed miserably.
They brought in a bunch of Tim. White privileged people to figure this out or something.
No, exactly. That's exactly what happened, because it's our duty with our dirty buckets of white privilege to go and stand in the rotunda of the Capitol in Colorado for 8 to 9 days consistently with no stopping. Because it's our turn to do something about something. Yeah, that's what happened. If you guys didn't see that episode, it was a great one. But buckets and buckets, my man. My arms get tired of holding these buckets.
I know.
It's like, I think we just said we had to hide it under Yucca Mountain because it was radioactive. I think we did say that. Great episode. That was great. Well, I think we should put a bow on this because there's more. There's more, Tim. This is number 6. Lowell, who is the lawyer, said no additional evidence emerged between when the plea deal was presented to the court June 20th and when it collapsed on July 26th. Lowell argued it is essential for Biden to know whether anyone improperly discussed, encouraged, endorsed, or requested an investigation or prosecution, which is why he requested subpoenas for top officials overseeing the case. Thus, the prosecution's change of heart appears to be in response to political pressure rather than anything newly discovered in the investigation of Mr. Biden, Lowell wrote. Okay.
Funny. I remember a judge reading the deal and going, because they tactfully tried to hide the sweetheart deal at the back end, the tail end of the document, and didn't think the judge would
petition.
Right, and didn't think the judge would catch it. It was clearly them trying to pull a fast one. The judge caught it, and the judge like, no. And if you look at the terms of the deal, it was ridiculous. Basically, the guy would be immune from prosecution for anything going forward. Yes. It was absolutely outrageous. And they're saying that, well, it was just because of a political favor that this all came up. It had nothing to do with the fact that the judge caught it.
Yeah, it had nothing. It also had nothing to do with the idea that. So just to put this, like, zoom out a little bit more. This guy is actually advocating the point, saying that It was political pressure that changed the outcome of the plea deal. The plea deal that was built completely around political favoritism, where he was getting off on gun charges, he was getting a misdemeanor tax deal, he was getting immunity from anything in the future about acting as a foreign lobbyist for another government, and worse drug charges. But no. Getting rid of that is the political favoritism, not the deal itself, which was political favoritism.
I know, right?
It is insane, but that speaks to your point.
Yes.
They were literally doing the exact same thing in order to get this deal. The judge goes, there's no way I'm rubber stamping this. The judge says not happening. Then they lose, and all of a sudden now it's political pressuring because you caught my political pressuring. It is insane.
I know.
Oh,
It hurts.
it hurts.
Yeah.
It
We both said it at the same time. It hurts.
We did. It does hurt.
Yeah.
It absolutely kills me. But that's where we're at. This guy has gone down a road of anything to get me off while his father pushes gun control. He completely undermines every facet of gun control across the board. And now he's going in this direction. This guy is the gift that keeps on giving with big old pelotas. That's what he is. There's an image for you.
All right. Oh my goodness.
I think that's that piece.
Okay.
But now you get to do gun grabbers and goofy things they say.
G3.
Your segment.
Yeah. So, all right, folks. This one is rich. So, falling back to my favorite social media platform, X, formerly known as Twitter, we found out that Congressman Robert Garcia had something to say recently.
Yeah.
He's claiming on the record that nearly half of the licensed gun dealers in the U.S. would go out of business if not for gun sales that end up trafficked to Mexico. We're empowering criminals to continue trafficking as long as these illegal gun sales continue. We can't let this go on. Now, the video, he not only says that half of the licensed gun dealers in the United States depend on gun trafficked guns to Mexico, otherwise they would go out of business, half nationally. He went so far as to say that 80% of the guns sold by FFLs in the border regions go to traffic guns to Mexico to the cartels.
That's a lot of percent.
Now, if you take a look, at since the pandemic to present, roughly about 60 million guns have been sold to Americans. Half of that would be 30 million guns. So if we just use the 50% number and don't include the 80%, and we just go with the 30%, he's saying that 30 million guns sold in the United States went to Mexico. Now, if we roll in that 80%, we don't know what percentage that would actually comprise. Let's make it an even 36 million, right? So 36 million guns went to Mexico. I don't think so. And of course, he doesn't cite where he got this information from.
No, it's not. You don't have to.
They never
you don't
do.
have to because when this is the rules of virtue signaling. When once commences on virtue signaling, you simply just say something with passion and conviction. You need no backup of facts or proof or sourcing. You just say it, and therefore you can harvest your virtue signal points. That's how it works.
You know what? We're going to grab that video and stick it in here right now. Yeah, so you guys can get it, because the post doesn't really encapsulate everything that was actually in the video. So we'll play that next.
Shouldn't surprise anyone that according to a variety of reports, anywhere between 70 to 90% of all the guns that are recovered in crime scenes in Mexico are actually traced back to U.S. gun sales. So if we're going to fight an effective fight against the cartels, we need to make sure that they cannot get their hands on U.S. firearms. Now, without even including ammunition and gear, the retail value of U.S. weapon sales, which go to the cartels, is around $500 million a year. So given that, it's unsurprising that according to the Council on Foreign Relations, over 50% of all U.S. firearm dealers and up to 80% of border state federal firearms license dealers are actually dependent on Mexican cartel demand for their economic existence. So if you think about it, 1/2 of all U.S. gun dealers would essentially go out of business if not for gun sales that end up in the hands of the cartels. So this is actually a huge public policy and public health crisis. Both sides of the border need to be involved. And if we actually want to take on human trafficking, the illegal guns that are coming from the United States play a huge role in funding these cartels. They're, of course, trafficking all of these families from Central and South America and Mexico.
So there you have it, folks, from the horse's mouth himself. 80% of the border FFLs and 50% of FFLs nationally. Yeah,
man, that's a big percentage.
that's a huge problem. This dovetails into yesterday's video.
Man,
Good grief, I had
it
no
really
idea
does.
it was this bad.
I know. Maybe I mean, like, really, it's really a fascinating strategy, Tim.
It
It
is.
is. I mean, if you're going to do 50%, which would be 30 million guns, um, that kind of flies in the face of a lot of arguments that gun controllers are making against our gun rights, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Because I mean, if you had that many guns flowing out of the country, that would mean you'd be at a net negative, right? Because then it's going that way. And they always tell us that more guns here means more crime, and yet crime is still escalating.
Even though we're shipping half of the guns south, huh?
That's weird because I mean, there's a direct correlation to guns leaving. Why wouldn't crime be going down? Because I mean, like, that's just gun controller math 101. I mean, like, that's like Biden talking about numbers and stuff.
$1,400,000,000.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's about right. It's about it.
He didn't cite where he got the information, but I almost guarantee you it came from one of our famous sources, or perhaps his own office did its own study. Because when they can't get the numbers they want,
So
they
good.
just commission their own study
Just make 'em
and
up.
then like,
Just
hey,
make 'em up.
Look what we found. 99% of the guns sold in America wind up in Mexico. Who knew?
Mhm. That's right. That's right. Tim, am I reading this next tweet correctly?
Oh, yes. So number 8, Dr. Button Pusher. Giffords chimed in on Twitter recently. And here this kind of dovetails into something we talked about previously about Davey Hogg liking to claim that he destroyed the NRA. Well, we have Giffords here linking to a Newsweek article. And if you read, it's pretty interesting, but they go into detail about how the reason the NRA is losing its membership and is dying, they've lost roughly half of their members, is because of Americans waking up to the NRA being some evil organization. Well, gun owners are waking up to the fact that the NRA isn't their best friend, and they've left the NRA because of pressure applied to them from social media, right? Gun owners have been out there talking about all the misdeeds of the NRA, and they finally said they had enough, and they went to other organizations like Gun Owners of America, FPC, SAF, pick one. They haven't, these people are still engaged politically for their Second Amendment rights. They're just not trusting the NRA anymore. And they're claiming, Giffords and everybody else, they're all getting in line to claim victory here, that they brought the NRA down. No, the NRA brought itself down. It all started with the bump stock nonsense. It culminated with Oliver North pointing out all of Wayne's, wild corruption, them getting sued, moving to Texas, and people are done with them because they constantly compromise our rights away, and people don't like that anymore. They're done giving up their rights. So they're going to more aggressive pro-2A groups and abandoning the soft touch that is the NRA.
But you said something that was so crucially important, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. My heart swelled like eight sizes, like the Grinch right there. Genuinely, did you not get that reference? Come on, we're both old. That was a golden reference. I didn't even get a chuckle.
No, it went right over my head.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, tell
y'all in the comments. If you guys got that, you leave in the comments below. The Grinch growing like a heart growing like 5 sizes broke the heartometer. Man, good Lord. I can't. Okay, we're just gonna keep rolling because that was too painful that you missed that. So something that you hit that I thought was glorious. They act like the NRA is slowly dying, therefore gun rights is slowly dying, therefore no one likes guns anymore. People aren't for freedom, and because the NRA is dying and we beat them. Anybody with a small modicum of intelligence would go, well, wait a minute. It's moving away from one organization. Where's it going? No. They just go, it's evaporating.
Yeah, it's gone. It's like everybody's on our side now.
Yeah. It's actually, we're actually gaining people across the board. I mean, like, to your point, they aren't support of the gun rights is not evaporating. It's just changing to different organizations who represent their thoughts and their alignments much better.
Yeah.
This is the natural organization. This is what happens with all organizations. If you stray from your mission, the people who support you are going to go to someone who supports the original mission.
Right.
This is 100% just a reallocation of energy and resources. This is not a reallocation away from the Second Amendment. That would be a dramatic error to think that. But please do.
Let's give it an example. So you remember the Bud Light controversy, right? Do you think
it was vaguely
right? So do you think that the people that once drank Bud Light because of the controversy that made them leave not to support Bud Light anymore, but Anheuser-Busch anymore, do you think they just quit drinking beer? Or do you think perhaps they went and bought a different beer and they still consume beer? right?
That's a great example.
Right. So when people leave one group because they don't agree with the politics or the direction of that organization, they generally don't just give up like, well, you know what? I'm selling my guns. I'm done with the NRA. I'm just out.
Mhm.
Nope. They just move on over to somebody they do agree with that they feel represents their rights and their beliefs more accurately.
That is correct.
And that just ain't the NRA anymore for gun rights folks, because
That is correct. In fact, in economics, that is a term of elasticity.
Mm.
You are welcome. Economics drop.
And on that note, folks, thank you for watching A Second Legacy. We'll talk to you guys soon.